Hello and welcome to the Lesson 4 exercise. Now this exercise is meant to be completed after you watch Lesson 4 of the beginner series. So if you don't know what that is or you haven't watched it up to that point, check out the beginner series. I highly recommend it by clicking in the upper right corner or checking in the description below. I'll link to Lesson 1. Alright, so what I want you to do is download the assets for this user interface here and start up a new Xcode project and try to put this together. I would pause the video at this point and attempt it yourself, and if you get stuck or you can't position something correctly, then come back to this video because I'm going to show you how to do it right now. Alright, so here I've got a brand new Xcode project and we are going to choose single view app. I'm going to name this Lesson 4 exercise solution. Now after building the work hard game user interface, I don't think that this would be too hard for you, but it's just extra practice that never hurts, right? So we're going to go into the asset library and we're going to grab all of these assets and put them in. Now there's only 3 things to position and plus a bunch of labels. So this is probably going to be relatively quick. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is add an image view by opening up the object library. You can also click that icon up there to do that. We're going to set this image to be the image of the girl, and I'm going to make it, I'm not going to constrain to margins, and I'm going to make it 0 from the top, left, and right. The reason why I'm hesitating is because I do probably want to constrain it to the safe area. And we're going to set an image to that guy. So click on the image view and then for the image choose the girl. You can put her like that, except her face looks stretched out, so we're going to change the content mode because by default it's going to scale it. We're just going to say aspect fit. And so that's going to set that image view like that. And then we are going to, let me see if there's anything else. I might actually want to do top instead. So it was bothering me that this tip wasn't reaching to the top there, so I'm going to choose top instead. And we're going to want to add another image view. Let's just add these first. So let's put that right there. This is going to be the close button. So go ahead and choose close. And we're going to align it to the top and the right. So we are going to constrain to margins and we're going to leave it relative to the safe area. And we're going to say 20 and 20. 20 from the top and 20 from the right. So our X is right there. And then we are going to add our little chat label or chat icon to that. And this one's going to be a little different. So why don't we, first let's add 20 from the right. All right, and the bottom is going to be equal to the image. So that's what I'm going to say. So this one, if you enable the bottom here, you're not going to be able to select the girl. And so what I would recommend doing instead is you can always, so here's one way to do it, and I don't know if I showed you this exactly. I don't think I did. But you hold down Control and you can click from this chat icon and you can draw a blue line to the girl image. And when you let go, you're going to be able to specify a constraint relative to that element. So I'm going to choose bottom, right? And what that does, let's go check out that constraint. So if you have your chat icon clicked, selected, go to Size Inspector, go down, and you can see this constraint that gets added. Double click it, it's going to bring you to that constraint. So the chat bottom is equal to the girl bottom. So they're both aligned in terms of where they end at the bottom. What I'm going to do is change this constant to -20, and that will like push it up a little bit. That's going to say, I want the bottom of the chat icon to align with the bottom of the girl image, but -20. So that's going to bump it up a little bit. So that's how you get to do that. let's add a label. And again, that's one way of doing it. There's always multiple ways of doing things. So let's add a label here, and let's give her a name. So I think I called her Joanna before. I don't know if I spelled it exactly like that. We're going to change the font to a custom one, and I don't even remember if this was the right font that I chose. Something like that. And we're gonna just put it right there, and we're going to do top, left, and right. So the top is going to be 20. The left is also going to be, whoops, I'm editing the height now. So when you start editing this checkbox and you click out of it, make sure that that's unchecked, or else you'll end up adding that constraint by accident. And this one, on the right-hand side of that label, I want to make it relative to the close button. And I'm going to say 20. So that's just going to stretch out that label. However, let's see what this is. Set the horizontal hugging priority. So this is what actually we talked about in the lesson 3 exercise. So it's basically saying when there's too much space, which of the two elements is going to expand to fill up that extra space. Because there is a property under the size inspector for all of these elements called content hugging priority. And we're gonna look at the horizontal aspect of it. So it's basically saying, of these two elements that are aligned here, if there's too much horizontal space, which element is going to expand to fill up that space? And of course I would want the name label, right? Because the names can be longer and shorter. And so the tricky part is that content hugging means which element is going to not expand. So the element with the highest content hugging priority is going to retain its dimensions, while the element with the lowest content hugging priority is going to end up expanding. So what I actually want to do, if I want this close button to maintain its dimensions, I want to increase this guy's priority. So I'm going to bump it up, and you can instantly see that this label now expands to fill up that horizontal space. Okay, so let's add a couple more labels here. We're going to add a label down here, and this one is, let's see. So we're going to do left, top, and right, and the top is going to be relative to the girl, and let's do 0. Left is going to be 20, and right is going to be 20. And we're going to say that this label, I'd like to meet you. And we're going to change this font and make this a little bigger. All right, and then we're going to add another label down here. Let's say that this one's going to be all 4. So the top should be relative to the I'd like to meet you label, and the left, yeah, that's fine. All the rest is fine actually. All right, so the top, let's say it's 10 points from that top one, but it's 20, 20 from the left, right, and bottom. Boom, so we have something like that. And this label, we can make it multi-line, and then we can also add some text like some sort of, I'm just going to type some gibberish. Let's see why it's not truncating here. So I've got set vertical content hugging priority. Okay, so same problem as up here, except that this time it's on the vertical axis. So we're going to say that in terms of all of this stuff, this image will probably have the highest vertical hugging priority. So at 255, let's say, this label is going to be at 253, and this one is going to have the lowest priority because I want this guy at the bottom to expand to fill up any remaining space. All right, so this image is going to maintain the dimensions, It has the highest priority at 255. This label is next. It's going to maintain its shape in terms of its second in priority. And this guy has the lowest content hugging priority. So if there's extra vertical space, that's going to be the one that stretches out. So there you have it. I hope you learned a lot from doing this exercise, and I'll see you in the next lesson.